Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, CEOs and startup dreamers, friends from around the world, I want to begin today with a big truth, a simple truth. The world is not fair. Never has been, never will be. But that's okay, because the world does not reward fairness. It rewards people who can adapt, who can change, who can laugh at problems and say, "Ha, you think you can stop me?" Let's talk about something that is scaring many people today. Tariffs, trade wars, economic uncertainty, especially between two of the biggest elephants in the jungle, the United States and China. When elephants fight, the grass suffers, right? But friends, I say, don't be the grass, be the bamboo. Now, you might be wondering, Jack, you're a businessman. You made billions from globalization. Why are you smiling when the world is panicking? Because I've seen this before. When I started Alibaba, there was no internet in China, no funding, no business model. But guess what? There was one thing we had, imagination. You see, trade wars are like two rich uncles at a family reunion arguing about who gets to control the barbecue. While they argue, we, the rest of the family, can either go hungry or we can learn to cook our own food. Don't depend on peace between superpowers to build your success. Depend on your creativity. Depend on your adaptability. Depend on your humor. When I see companies saying, "Oh no, tariffs are going up. We cannot forecast anymore," I laugh. Why? Because forecasting in business is like predicting the weather on Mars. Nobody really knows. Imagine you're a small business in Ghana or a startup in Vietnam or a freelancer in Brazil, and every day you hear about these big economic earthquakes, tariff increases, global slowdowns, supply chain chaos. You know what I say? Good. Now you're awake. When the water is calm, everybody thinks they are a good sailor. But when the storm comes, you find out who was only wearing a captain's hat for fashion. You see, if you're waiting for stable trade policies to grow your business, you'll wait forever. It's like waiting for your teenage child to stop playing video games and read Shakespeare. It might happen, but don't bet your future on it. In today's world, speed is more important than size. In the old days, companies with the most money won. Today, companies with the fastest learning speed win. Governments are slow. Big companies are slow. You must be fast. Think about the pandemic. It didn't ask for permission. It just came. Businesses had to adapt overnight. Restaurants turned into delivery services. Schools went online. People started baking bread and selling it on Instagram. Necessity is the best business school. Trade wars? Same idea. If your product becomes too expensive in one country, find another market. Diversify. Think global, act local. Be like water, my friend. If the river is blocked, find another path. I want to tell you a funny story. Years ago, I was meeting with an American investor who said, "Jack, what if China collapses?" I said, "Then it collapses. I will still be here building something." He looked confused. "But what about your plan?" I said, "My plan is to keep moving no matter what." This is the mindset we need. When tariffs go up, when policies change, when your best supplier suddenly becomes your most expensive headache, don't panic. Laugh, then think, then act. Panic is the enemy of progress. Most people fail not because of the crisis, but because of the fear of the crisis. I always say, in any problem lies opportunity. Tariffs mean cost goes up. So what? Maybe this is the moment to digitize, to automate, to redesign, to move from being just a seller of products to a builder of value. The future doesn't belong to those who cry the loudest. It belongs to those who learn the fastest. People always say to me, "Jack, you are so optimistic. How do you stay that way, especially when the world seems to be falling apart?" Well, the truth is, I don't have a choice. Do you think the world listens to a pessimistic Chinese man? If I go on stage and say, "Everything is terrible, we're doomed," people will say, "Jack, please go drink tea and stop talking." But if I smile and say, "Yes, the storm is coming, but we can build a boat," then people listen. Optimism is free, but it pays like gold. And when I say optimism, I don't mean blind hope. I mean the kind of mindset that says, the roof is leaking, the power is out, the rent is due, but I will figure it out. In business, you don't want to be a dinosaur. Too big, too slow, watching comets fall from the sky and still thinking, maybe we can wait this out. You also don't want to be a panda. Too cute, too lazy, dependent on others to keep you alive. You want to be a cockroach. Yes, a cockroach. The creature that has survived ice ages, meteors, and even bad landlords. You step on it, it runs. You flood the kitchen, it swims. You spray chemicals, it mutates. It doesn't complain, it adapts. Entrepreneurs must learn from the cockroach. We're not here to impress people with our beauty. We're here to survive, adapt, and thrive. During trade wars, big companies suffer first. They're like oil tankers, slow to turn. But small businesses, we're the cockroaches. We scurry, pivot, and survive. When the dust settles, we're still standing and smiling. Because survival is not about strength, it's about flexibility, speed, and never giving up. Tariffs force companies to rethink supply chains. Good. It's time to move from made in China to made with intelligence. Or made in Asia, made in Africa, made in the cloud. The factory of the future has no borders. It's not one country. It's a network, a web of creativity. Young people, listen to me. Learn digital skills. Learn coding, marketing, logistics, finance. Learn how to sell online. Because no one can put a tariff on your brain. You see, countries argue about who makes the parts, but the real power belongs to the person who designs the whole product, the brand, the experience, the story. China made the iPhone, but Apple made the money. If you only know how to produce, you will suffer. But if you know how to innovate, you will lead. Let me tell you something beautiful. Despite all the fights, the disagreements, the headlines screaming about recession and deglobalization, people are still buying, still dreaming, still building. Love is still real, laughter still works, and dreams don't respect tariffs. As an entrepreneur, your job is not to fix the world. Your job is to build a better one solution, one customer, one crazy idea at a time. Don't wait for the US and China to become best friends before you launch your business. You might wait until your hair turns white and then lose it. Let me give you some practical advice, not from books, from experience, from falling down and getting up again and again. 1, control what you can, ignore what you can't. You can't control tariffs. You can't control the stock market, but you can control your product quality, your customer service, your speed of execution. Focus on those. 2, build relationships, not just transactions. When prices rise, people look for trust, loyalty, friendship. Your business will survive not because it's the cheapest, but because it's the most human. 3, learn every day about everything. Read, ask questions, try new tools, learn about artificial intelligence, logistics, customer psychology. Knowledge is the antidote to fear. Why do I always tell jokes in my speeches? Is it because I think business is funny? No, business is tough. Business is stressful. Business can make you lose sleep, lose hair, even lose money. But you know what humor does? It keeps you sane. It keeps you human. When people laugh, they learn faster. Their walls come down. Their brains open up. You can give someone a 200-page business strategy and they'll forget it by lunchtime. But make them laugh and they'll remember you forever. Humor doesn't mean we ignore serious issues. It means we refuse to let those issues paralyze us. When you make a joke about a serious problem, you shrink it. You turn fear into something you can manage. And in times of crisis, like economic downturns, pandemics, or trade wars, the people who can laugh are the ones who keep moving. Look, trade war sounds like the world is ending, but let me break it down. Tariffs are like your ex putting a password on your Netflix. Annoying, but not the end of the world. Or try this. Running a business during a trade war is like doing yoga on a roller coaster. You might scream, but at least you're flexible. Humor disarms fear. It's a form of courage. It tells your team, your investors, your customers, yes, we're in chaos, but we're not broken. We still have spirit. If you want to be a leader in this unpredictable world, don't just lead with intelligence or strategy. Lead with hope, lead with vision, and most importantly, lead with a smile. Because in dark times, a good joke is like a flashlight. Small, but powerful enough to help everyone see the way forward. Let me end with the lesson of the bamboo. Bamboo grows slowly at first. You water it, you wait, nothing happens. 1 year, 2 years, still nothing. People laugh, they say, why are you wasting time? But the 3rd year, boom, it shoots up, grows meters in just weeks. Why? Because during those years it was building roots, deep, strong, unshakable. My friends, right now, during these uncertain times, build your roots. Don't focus on just making money. Focus on becoming valuable. Don't chase headlines. Chase purpose. The crisis is temporary, but your growth, if you do it right, will be permanent. We are entering a new era, an era of digital globalization, of fragmented supply chains, of rising nationalism, yes, but also of rising entrepreneurs who can connect across borders with just a smartphone and a big idea. Whether you're in Nairobi or New Delhi, Manila or Miami, the future needs you. Not to be perfect, but to be creative, brave, funny, kind. So next time you hear about trade war, don't panic. Just whisper to yourself, the elephants are fighting again. Time to grow like bamboo. Thank you. Keep going. Be kind. Be strong. Be funny. And never forget, the world may be unfair, but you are unstoppable.